Hey, good evening. It's Rebecca Dusso here. It's great to be with you. I have a dear friend with me here tonight. Her name is Lisa Gray. She is a remarkable woman, a mother of six, like myself. And she is just a woman that I have begun journeying with a few years ago. However, our paths have become more tightly interwoven as of late. And so we're going to talk about that this evening as we get a condensed version of Lisa's testimonial. I'm sure a woman who has lived so much faith and so much fitness and just holiness of life with her and her extended family that she could share with us all evening. But we're going to try to pull a few savory nuggets from the Lisa Gray file, and so that she can ignite you the way that she is ignited for Christ, for good things, true things, and beautiful things. So, Lisa, welcome. Thanks for being with us.
Happy to be here, Rebecca. Thanks so much for making the time for me tonight. It's an honor and privilege to work alongside you, as you just mentioned, and to just grow with you, and just to be a part of what it is that the Lord is calling us to both in this next moment of life. And I'm really happy to be here. I have one correction. I have five kiddos at home,
Hi.
and I do have two older stepdaughters that are through college now.
Okay.
My kids consider me with my gray hair. They're like, "Mom, are you ready to be a grandma?" I'm like, "No,
I
well, yes, in the sense of joy, but I'm like, I think I'm a little bit younger than a grandma is yet." But anyways, I might not look like it,
really,
but we're on the way to holiness and just joyful family living. We are in the middle of an adoption process right now, so that's fun too. A very exciting adventure taking us across the globe to the Philippines, actually. So
wow.
that would be number six. We're hoping
Okay.
and
I'm
praying that
sorry.
God's will.
I got that all, wires crossed, perhaps with my own story. We'll blame it on my pregnant brain, perhaps. Anyway, God is doing good things regardless through family life and your primary vocation. And so, speaking to that, your family has some different health concerns and issues that go on. And so, you as a mom have to be super diligent with your resource and your ability to just to help your young people forward. Can you touch on that just a little bit, just a smidget of your
Surely,
journey and how you have to operate to help these young
surely. So I can really relate to those whose lives are falling apart because of stress around them and maybe chronic stress. And I was very blessed through my all of my laboring and the children that have God has blessed me with thus far. Our fourth daughter, our fourth child, she is now 8 years old, but as a really young toddler, only 16 months old, she was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. And I was basically really and seriously at my wit's end with that diagnosis. I have my own father is a type 1 diabetic as well, and I didn't grow up in that lifestyle because he developed it at age 46. And actually, if you do the math, I was already out of the house in college the year he was diagnosed. And so I didn't get the experience of living and growing with him through it, but I knew about enough to know it was a really difficult chronic disease to deal with every day, every moment of every day, and to have very scary things happen when your biochemistry bodily is off. So we just found that with our little Noelle, that it was a really tough journey. I would be up all night, every single night, taking care of her. We one time had an episode of the insulin being an overdose to her in the middle of the night. When I was breastfeeding her, I incorrectly dosed her, and we ended up calling upon the Lord to save her life because she was beyond help. Basically, in that moment, when I found her in the morning, and I knew from that moment going on, God gave her back to me and breathed His life into her, to bring her back to life. It was that situation where the ambulance had called. They were 20 minutes away from us, and she was blue, and she wasn't breathing anymore, and all that scariness of, oh my gosh, what has just happened to my daughter? And I gave her back to Jesus, and he breathed into her and gave her back to me. And I lived, though, continuously, and since then, with the knowledge that if I mess this up, or she messes this up, or whoever's caring for her, if things go wrong, it can be really tragic in a hurry.
Mhm.
And so there's a constant stress in our lives of what's going on with her. And many people can relate, who have those really special needs children to care for, and how exhausting that can get day after day after day after day. Like, it's like I'm nursing an infant every single night because I'm up any number of times checking on that infant, and checking on her blood sugars. I'm kneeling down by her bedside in the dark, trying to figure out her insulin sites, trying to figure out her dosing, trying to get her whatever I can feed her in the middle of the night so she doesn't crash and go super low on us with a low blood sugar episode.
Mm.
So just to say that that's what it's like, and I can speak to, especially there's a lot of type 1 diabetics actually out and around us who know this journey and who know how tough it is. And I sympathize with you on every level. And as a parent, of seeing that situation, I just have great compassion and wow and amazement for how you've carried yourself and lived through this. It's a very difficult disease to manage. Now
Mhm.
there are worse things out there. I will say that, just to be honest about that too. I know that, and so I'm here today just to say that I reached out to Rebecca several years ago. We touched paths, like she mentioned, in a summer, and I was excited to just do something more to gain energy. I needed more energy in my life. I felt to really, really be able to take care of those in front of me. And I knew that God had planted that joy and abundance in me, and that it was there. I just needed to have it be called out. And Rebecca
Mhm.
was just a great coach and mentor to really bring out the best in me. And I never forgot that experience with her, the 6-week program that she was running. And I know that shortly after that, I had just touched base a few times and just watched what she was doing and noticed she was receiving transformation in her life. And I kept that in my heart. So for multiple years, I moved on and continued in health and wellness myself. Prior to being with Rebecca and working with her in that journey of physical fitness, especially, and the food faith fitness journey, I had been working with another company in business as a distributor. My husband and I were fully invested as a part-time business, earning a good income for ourselves, what we thought was appropriate, and we're very blessed by God and very grateful for everything we've done before this, and the people we've served, the customers we've grown alongside, the other people who have felt that health transformation just by eating better, supplementing themselves well. And it came to this point where I thought, golly, I wonder, and I remember about Rebecca. What is it about her spirit and joy that continues on where she wants to go forward so passionately, so full of energy? And I looked into again what she was doing, and she's continuing on the same journey, and I was excited about that because I thought, wow, there's some sustainability here with whatever she's got going. She absolutely loves it. She is the next level to, where I want to grow to be. And so I reached out, and I am so delighted that I made the transformation that I did and just decided to jump all in. And within a month's time here, the month of September of 2022, I have really just been just living every day joyfully, in the sense that I'm so excited for what the Lord has planned for me before I'd get up in the morning, because I would wake up in the middle of the night programmed to go check on my daughter, even if she's not low, or if she is low, or if she's has her blood sugar alarms going off because she's high. I am programmed to go check on her no matter what nowadays. And so I'm waking up though refreshed, and I'm like, wow, this is what it's like to like get sleep at night. And even if I'm not getting all the sleep that I still need as a human being or as a mom, I am there. And I'm so honored by the Lord's blessing upon me because I've wanted that. I'm usually by nature a night owl, and I hate the mornings, and I cannot fly my wings until like half past noon. So let's just say that it was always torturous in the fall, when you gotta also take account the changing of the seasons, getting
Mhm.
cooler outside. We all want to stay in bed longer in the morning, and then everything that goes with the light and the dark, and there's shorter days, and and school is starting, for crying out loud. And I happen to be a homeschooling mom, and so all those things compound. In September usually rolls as like, oh, I love the fall, but not that much. So that's where I was. And now today I can say that my life is so much better. I'm so surprised. And then for myself, it's been great, but also a blessing upon my children. I started this journey especially because I had in my heart my daughter Noelle. As I've mentioned, there's just been frailty after frailty for her as a type 1 diabetic. She's a celiac story as well. And so there's other autoimmune issues in our family. We've got some other undiagnosed things going on with our other children. And so wanting more, wanting better, and I'm finding it. And I'm finding they're feeling better as well. We have been a family who's been thinking we were doing what was right. And I'm so glad I was open to the possibility that there still is something more out there that I can do. and that we have found it in, especially through Rebecca's example, and just really trusting and believing and being excited to try and to just trust that the Lord has us in his hand, that he is a God of great abundance,
Mhm.
and that he wants to just shower that abundance upon us recklessly.
Recklessly. We serve a reckless, wonderful God. I mean, but
We
really,
do.
he wants to give us so much in abundance and in every sphere of life. And we need to take to heart, all of us, how elemental, I should say, or elementary nutrition is in this whole scheme of everything. And so for you to do your vocation well, to help your children to actually do the work of raising saints, um, that asks a lot of a mother. And so for you
Hmm.
to wake up sharp and refreshed and really be able to come and help give life, not just speak life, but give life to your children through the very same nutrition that you're now enjoying, I think is amazing. Would you give us just that little snippet of the muscle testing story? I know some people are into holistic treatments, and they would be curious to know what you have found that
Yes.
what your long held path with a naturopath led you to was her saying, "Let's put everything back on my shelves and go with what is very well
Hmm.
aligned with helping Noel." So give us that
Absolutely.
little bit
So
of a
a
testimony.
quick story about Noelle. She has an undiagnosed medical, or excuse me, of course they're all medical, but she has an undiagnosed like just stomach disorder. We have not figured out what it is for 2.5 years, and it's really a difficult thing for her to eat any type of food right now. And I hope, God willing, that we are getting to the end of this and not exacerbating or prolonging anything. Um, but his will be done, and she's a champ. And so Noelle's resilience is astounding. And we've taken her to multiple different facets of chiropractic, naturopathic care, conventional doctors, GI doctors, her diabetes doctors, and asked, there's some very obvious and serious, I consider as a mom, serious things going on. And to no avail have we found all the answers for whatever is afflicting her. But just in the last week, I just was so excited. Rebecca's referring to this just in the last 2 days. So early or late September here, we took her to the naturopathic doctor that we see in Bismarck. And she does a kinesiology, and she was working with Noelle on her table, and she had said, "Oh, I'm noticing this, and oh, that's actually really a lot better and improving." And so she was lining up her ideas for supplements, and I'd said, "No, doctor, I'm excited for everything, and I was coming back with some new products and some new things to try." We had spoken earlier in the month at her previous appointment that I wanted to share some new things, and so I brought to the table some of the items and the products that we were now trying, and I was curious about whether or not this was going to be something helpful to Noelle or not, and just doing it through the muscle testing and that route. And her face lit up, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, put those back up here on the table. Let me not only try them alongside of Noel, but I want to try them alongside everything I was thinking here in my mind that I was about to write out and prescribe to you of the supplements from our office." And she was like, "Wow, a whole bunch of these things we are going to shelf. We can put back the okra pepsin, and we can put back the lysine that I was planning to give her, and she doesn't need the iron thing any longer." And I am, what is it? And she was like, "Your body loves this, little girl. You need to be on these things. I am so happy your mom found them for you." And so she was elated and delighted to see that. She said, "Yes, whatever we've got going here, I am fully on board." And thanks be to God that she is a very open doctor. So we were happy to find that. And it was just a great testimony. There's more to that story with our son Elijah as well, but that, just for brevity's sake, that's the gist of it. And Rebecca, I just want to quickly just say, as our vocation, we focus on motherhood, but on spousal love, and the type of wife we are that has energy to go out with your husband and be there for him as well, is just as important, if not more so, because you
Mhm,
are first a wife before you're that mother.
mhm.
And to have the energy and the time and the ability to do affection and attention and receive it back from my husband, I give God the glory for that big change in our marriage, even insofar as I have energy to just spend time with him and not be like, "I've just got to go to bed. I am so zonked and I cannot do a single other thing today. And you're the last thing on my list, dear husband." And so we treat that like that so often that that happens in our marriages where we don't mean to, but you're so worn out by the time your husband comes home, you're like, please take the kids. I need five. And then they all run around and you get back together and you have supper and you clean up or you do the activities of the evening and then you come home and you're just like, now we just need to get everybody to bed and go to bed. I have nothing left to give. But this isn't the story for me anymore, that I am there. I can do little crossword puzzles and fun things that delight my husband's heart. He loves Wordle. And so I love Wordle and I get to do it alongside him. So I just wanted to say I have the energy now where God I think is really blessing our vocation. I
Yeah.
can get up early in the morning and pray with him. Things that I wasn't able to do just a few months ago.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you've been such a witness of stewardship, not only for yourself, but for Noel, for Elijah, for all of the children, for your husband. And just you are the front runner in this, seeking out what needs to be done and getting these real solutions into yourself. I mean, it's so evident looking at you. Just hearing you is so impactful. So thank you for taking care of yourself as woman and wife first, because everybody is getting more. They're getting more of Lisa, but they're just getting a better quality of life. And it's because of your yes. And so, as you've modeled that after our Blessed Mother, who is the woman of the yes, I think it's just, it's so awesome. It's so awesome that
Well,
you
thanks.
heard that calling and said, you know, I can do better. I can do better with my energy. I can do better with my intake. I can do better with my output. And you found that all in one place. So,
Mhm. And
you
in a
for
very
sure.
uncomplicated way. This isn't like you need to all just start mixing up tons of greens every day, ladies, and you need to be able to swallow a lot of like large amounts of kale and get parsley in your body and be doing basil and all these other herbs and spices and mix it all together and make something new and magical that suddenly you're going to like, and it's not going to take, that you have to take hours to prepare. Chop up all your vegetables so many nights before to get everything lined up so you can do this transformation
It's
and you're
like a
gonna feel
mess.
amazing.
Your
So
whole
no, it's nothing
kitchen
like
will be
that.
toast. Yeah. No, it's absolutely convenience. We as
Yep.
mothers need convenience. If we're going to make changes and if we're going to sustain those changes, it really has to come with convenience, or it doesn't promise us much of a lasting return. And so
Mhm.
I just love that we have this powerful nutrition, this potent ability to detox, because when we are ingesting, absorbing, utilizing, and eliminating better, we're in our own skin. Praise God. So thank you so much
Yes.
for sharing intimately some of the details of your beautiful family life, your own recent transformation. And I know you're sustaining it, and that's so awesome. So thanks for your time and your
Thanks be to
stewardship.
God.
Yeah.
Yes,
All
thanks
right.
for having me on, Rebecca. God bless you all. I wish you the best on your journey. Thank you for listening to us and hearing us out tonight.
Yes. All right. God bless. Thank you so much.